Good afternoon, everybody, and I would like to welcome you to the NACTA webinar series. Today, we have a special guest. It's Alicia Steuart. She is the Senior Director, Sales Director. And just as we were on the phone with you guys on mute, we just realized we've known each other somewhere between 8 and 10 years in the industry, and how time passes so quickly. But I think it's wonderful because she does a dynamite job of presentation, and I'm really looking forward to what she has to say. I'm going to do a little bit of our basic housekeeping. Everybody is going to be on mute. That is to prevent any background sounds from when Alicia is doing her presentation. Yes, this is being recorded. Everybody asks. We are recording it, so that way you can also review it afterwards if you want to be able to get some more information. Tomorrow, I will send out a link for everybody to be able to download this recording. It will be on the NACTA website under our YouTube account. I encourage everybody just to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can get any of the other webinars that we have done, but also you have easy access. I will also make sure to post that in the email that I send to everybody. There will be a Q&A session at the end, so if while she is talking you want to be able to put some questions in the question box, please feel free. Excuse me. We also will have a prize drawing at the end, and I know what she's going to be drawing, and it's very cool. So please pay attention during the entire presentation, and you too may also be able to get the answer to her question. So for now, Alicia, I am going to turn it over to you, and as always, I want to thank you again for all your support to NACTA, and I am looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you so much. Yes, as we were talking, you mentioned we were talking before, time flies, right? So we've known each other about 8 to 10 years. I realized I've been in the travel industry almost 24 years. I can't believe it. It's crazy. So it is my pleasure to be here with you all, and thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedules. I hope that you will gain some knowledge and some input that will help your business. So that's what we're all here for. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about best practices, and in doing that, we'll incorporate the new things, new ships, upgrades, itineraries that help in your sales effort. We'll talk about upselling. We'll talk about groups, gaining more repeat and referral business, onboard programs that helps your business, as well as agent tools and training. So here we go, starting out with the number one for our best practice. Ask for the money. So, how often are you working with a potential customer and, it seems like they just keep drawing out, the process. They're looking here, looking there, checking online, talking to friends, getting on Cruise Critic, right? We want to make sure that when you're working with a customer, you got to have their confidence, right? They have to feel confident about their sale, and you want to make sure to, once you get them in that process, when it's time to get the booking, you made the recommendation, you know it's the right fit, you got to ask for the money. Make sure not to give too long an option. What we find is the longer the option, the more that encourages the shopping. So take advantage of special promotions. This, not only with Carnival, but with any product you sell. Check on the special promotions. We have specific things that are really great for people who plan early. We've got a wonderful early saver where they get savings to lock them in and get guaranteed price protection. We also have pack and go. So if you've got those customers that are looking at going at the last minute, that's a wonderful tool to use. So take advantage of those to be more effective in closing the business and saving you time. All right. Also, you can find all of our latest promotions on GoCCL. So, of course, GoCCL is our travel partner website. Under the sales section, you'll find all of our latest promotions. So whether it's senior promotions, past guests, military, group rates, along with our amenity points, early saver, and any of our other latest promotions that we have going on where we might be offering reduced deposits, upgrades, onboard credits, and more. So a really good resource for you. All right, number two in best practice, be the expert. make sure you utilize all the online and in-person product trainings that we have to offer, whether it's us or another supplier that you are intending to sell. We want you to earn those specialist degrees because we know that with your knowledge and education, you can educate your customers and give them some tidbits they won't find online and find, from somewhere else. So definitely want you to take advantage. And the other thing is we want you to experience our product. We want you to get on board, and we offer many ways to do that through seminars at sea, as well as discounted interline rates for our travel partners. So ways that you can take advantage. First of all, if you're not already registered on Carnival Passport, I highly encourage you to do so. This is going to be your hub of all Carnival training. We'll have webinars, we'll have tutorials. It also has all of our live event offerings all across the country, whether it be ship visits or just tours where we're out and doing trainings in your local area for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you name it. On top of the fact that everything's listed here, you can also earn points by being engaged with us. So by doing all these trainings, you'll earn reward points and take advantage of our rewards program whereby you can turn that education and bookings into prizes for yourself like gift cards and things of that nature. So definitely take advantage of those things. On top of that, what makes it even better is the fact that when you go through our specialist training, you will, once you complete all 6 levels, not only will you get your specialist degree in a Carnival seller, but you also earn a complimentary cruise for you and a guest on a seminar at sea. So this obviously is an extra motivator to have you take advantage of all these educational tools. And then lastly, you're also going to find on Carnival Passport, as I mentioned, the local events. So you'll have our local training events, you'll have our VIP shipboarded events, FAM weekends, webinars, and of course a list of seminars at sea. And take advantage of Carnival Conversations. So we actually have our executives that go across the country and do panels so they can do Q&A with you and really get to know you and hear your feedback. And we've had many wonderful policy changes and things that were recommended by our travel partners at these events that we've taken back to Miami at our headquarters and made changes. So we hope that you can join us at one of these events as well. And then lastly, if you're not already connected on Facebook to our Vice President, I highly recommend you do so. So if you go to Facebook and look up Adolfo Perez at Carnival Trade, he does a fabulous job just giving like little sales tips, snippets, and a lot of wonderful tools and postings that you guys can use on your own Facebook business page. So I highly recommend making sure you get on his page, like his page, follow it, and utilize that as an extra selling tool for yourself. Okay, number 3, go after affinity groups. And what we mean by affinity groups is truly just groups that have something, a common bond, something in common, right? So it could be church groups, reunion groups, civic groups, music, fundraising, some type of arts and crafts. It could be a wine group, a golf group. So it's pretty much endless. But it's a great way to go after and grow your group business simply by asking people that you know, your own friends and family, through your own connections, through the own clubs that you participate in, through your own customers, just by getting to know them a little bit better. Even though you might just be, handling their family vacation, it doesn't mean that they're not also doing family reunions, may not be a part of a club. I mean, everybody's a part of something. So dig a little deeper, find out what their interests are, and it truly might lead into some group business for you. Number 4, go and get repeat and referral business. I think we all know, if you've been in this industry, you know in any industry of sales how important this is. And it really does make the difference just staying in touch with your clients. Always, whether it's follow-up or just communicating with them on a regular basis so the next time they're ready to travel, they think of you. And also making a point of asking for referrals on every sale. And I promise you'll grow your business by 20% at least if you do this on a regular basis and make it a habit. Studies show that 80% of people travel in small groups. So it may not be that they've got a group of 8 cabins or 10 room nights they're looking for or anything like that, but they might have friends and family that are definitely interested in going with them on a trip. So make sure every time you make a booking, ask that next question by just stating, do you have any friends and family that are interested in going with you? Because a lot of times people don't realize if their friends and family are in another state, they might not associate the fact that you can handle the booking for them. So it just makes such a difference to make a point of saying those things and turn one sale into potentially 3 or 4, or maybe even a small group by giving them added perks. Also, in repeat business, you know, we want to make sure that you are their loyal, or excuse me, they're your loyal client, right? They always think of you. You know, they've done a lot of research and studies, and it shows that only 2 out of 5 people typically stick with their same agent. They shop around, they snorkel around and use someone else. Don't let them cheat on you, right? And the way to stop that is truly in developing that relationship. You got to have that established relationship with your clientele. So even if they do shop around and they find a great deal, they'll come to you with that information, allow you the chance to book it for them. You know, always following up and staying in touch with them, getting to know them, you know, understanding when their birthdays are, anniversaries. Think about those things of, you know, how far in advance do they book their trip? So that way, you know, let's say if it's typically 6 months out, they went on their trip last year, hey, it's coming about that time. Make a little note to yourself to follow up at that point and say, hey, I know you typically are looking around this time frame. You mentioned last time you were interested in going to Alaska, wherever it might be. But it's just really important to continue that dialogue, continue communicating to them in multiple ways that make sense. And always know you're never closing a sale. You want to earn a sale and keep them for a lifetime, because obviously that's what leads to repeat and referral business. And also take advantage of the fact that we have future cruise vacation programs on board. So this is a great way to promote this program to get repeat business coming in your door. So when customers are on board, if they book their next cruise while they're on board, they receive added onboard credits. They can receive upgrades. We also give reduced deposits. And what's nice is even if they do it on board and they decide, uh-oh, you know what, that date's not going to work, the bookings are changeable. They are able to move that to a different booking. And, of course, you receive full credit and commission. So why not? So definitely make a point of promoting this program, telling your customers about it before they go, and that way it just leads to repeat business for you. So it's truly a win-win for all. The other thing you may want to mention, or just it's good to know about in talking about repeat business, is these new programs and new sailings we offer called Carnival Journeys. And why this is so good for repeat, because you might have had someone that's cruised many times. You know, they've been through short cruises, they've done every 7-day Caribbean cruise there is possible, they've gone all over. They're looking for something different, something unique, and maybe they're at a time in their lives where they have a little more vacation time. One of the wonderful programs we have is Carnival Journeys. And these are sailings typically anywhere from 9 to 16-day cruises. They are more port intensive, very destination focused. We always tie in local culinary experiences, local entertainment that are tied together with these cruises. We do fun throwback sea days, so you get like an 80s day at sea, which is so much fun, kind of like what it was back years ago on board ships. We do Academy of Fun, and they can learn things like photography, cooking school, things of that nature. And then we even do crew connections where we have Q&A with the crew and staff from all different departments on the ship. And I got to tell you, these sailings are really unique. It's a really great experience, and especially for those cruisers that have been many times, those repeat passengers of ours or repeat cruisers of yours, this is a fabulous program to look at, give them something different. And then referrals. So, you know, how do you go about getting referrals? You know, a lot of times it's simply by asking, you know, making sure that you reward referrals. So it could be just in every communication you say, you can say, we appreciate referrals. We thank you for your referral business. You might reward referrals by just simply, you know, with a little handwritten note, and maybe, you know, you might offer them a little Starbucks gift card as a thank you for sending a new client your way. It could be that you participate with some type of local restaurant or local bakery and come up with kind of a cross-selling opportunity where maybe you get a great deal on a, you know, it could be that they could go in and treat themselves on a special cake or a free appetizer when they go eat dinner there on you, anything of that nature. It really is more of just showing a gesture of having some type of referral program in place, whatever makes sense for you. The other thing you want to do is get testimonials. That's so important. By getting testimonials from your own customer, it really helps not only sell the product, but it helps sell you as a resource and as customers looking for a professional agent to work with. So, get your testimonials, ask for permission to use maybe pictures and their own testimonials that you can post on Facebook, on your website, however best you can utilize that, maybe in a newsletter, and tell a story about a family that recently went on a cruise and talk about their experience. Because obviously that definitely helps paint the picture for a potential customer that might be looking at that same trip. And then again, simply ask for referrals. Anytime you are making that booking, as I mentioned earlier, have the question ready. Are there any friends or families wanting to travel with you? Or do you know of anyone wanting to vacation soon? It just leads to that whole concept of getting that referral headed your way. All right, number 5, dial out. It is so important to make time to call your clients. All right, it helps build relationships. This all helps get repeat and incremental business. So really, it is a matter of making time. And whether it's time each day or it's scheduled time each week, whatever makes sense for your business, I know we all kind of operate differently, but put it in your calendar. I mean, truly set it as a meeting for yourself. And do this religiously. I got to tell you, the partners that I have that do this and make a point and habit of doing this as part of their business truly see results. Make time to call out on past guests, on prospects that maybe had contacted you but never made a sale, existing clientele. Good time to reach out and say, I haven't heard from you in a while, and I know you guys did a trip last summer, wanted to see if I can help you plan anything. You can always use a good excuse of a special offer. Maybe you know that they did their group, in, several years ago, and they haven't gone in a while. Well, what a great time to call them right now and say, hey, Carnival has a special going on with groups. Is it about time to start planning for you? Use those special tools and special offers that we have going on as a potential reason to call. The other thing is if you already have someone booked and maybe they don't sail for a while, maybe it's an opportunity to call them and see about upgrades for them. So maybe, at the time, their budget only allowed them to book in Ocean View, but a promotion came up and there was balconies at a really nice deal that wouldn't cost them much to upgrade. Offer them that opportunity. Why not? Or, it's also great just to give them insider information on something new. For example, we just won Carnival Vista. She's our brand new ship that came out last year. She was announced as 2016 Editor's Pick through Cruise Critic as the best new ship in 2016. Well, that's pretty great to share. If you've got someone who's sailed on Carnival for years and maybe they're looking to do something again, why not talk about the newest ship out there? So, really you can use any excuse. It can be simply picking up the phone and just saying, I haven't talked to you in a while and I was thinking about you. But again, it's all about staying in contact, staying in touch, and it's not about over-soliciting. It's more about building that relationship. So make time to dial out. So again, talking about the Vista, just to share, it's always great in sharing those insider tidbits, and whether you're utilizing this through phone calls, whether you're posting this on Facebook, on your website, utilizing a newsletter or email. Share those images, share new things. So, for example, on the Vista, what's so great, she's got some things that are really help sell it. First ever IMAX at sea, right? We have a theater that seats 148 guests that get to see firsthand wonderful movies. That is just a fabulous experience. We also have these amazing sky ride at the top of the ship. You can see we've got these wonderful rope course with beautiful views, and the sky ride where you ride this stationary this bike that's on a track, and you go along at the very top of the ship, the thing 15 stories high with 360-degree views while we're sailing. So it's pretty spectacular. So again, another little tidbit that you can share. We also have amazing new choices of staterooms on the ship. So whether it's the Havana Cabanas that have this Cuban feel with their own private pool all throughout the day for them to enjoy, or if you're talking to families, maybe you mentioned our Family Harbor area. Family Harbor rooms are fantastic, and they have their own section of the ship as well, where they have a private family lounge where they can go and have snacks, watch movies, play games, cookies and milk at bedtime. It's just pretty spectacular. So again, just finding all those little insider things that you guys can share in any type of communication makes a big difference. You might also want to be sharing the fact that we're open through 2019. So people who do like to plan ahead, you can share with them all the new ships and itineraries that are out there, and they can start planning ahead and booking now. All right, number 6, sell up and sell smart. So what are some things you can do to do this, right? Well, first of all, I always think comparing longer sailings to short. And what I mean by that is if you're working with a customer and they said, you know, I heard about this 5-day cruise out of Galveston. Can you tell me about it? Absolutely, right? So you give them the information. You tell them about the itineraries. You give them some pricing. You give them the different type of amenities on board. But anytime you're doing that, if they're able to take 5 days out of a week, meaning they're pretty much missing a week of work, hey, why not also present the option of the possibility of doing a 7-day cruise? And the reason I say this is because any of our newer ships are going to be in our 7-day longer market, right? So there's a reason, because obviously that gives them a chance to see the newer tonnage. So, you know, give them that information on a 5-day, but also show them the difference. Hey, if you are able to take just a couple more days, it's a little bit of price difference, but with that, you're going to get a little newer ship. It's going to have a little more options. You're also going to get a longer itinerary, a little bit more exciting itinerary options there. And so just present it as an option. You never know what might, you know, kind of turn the key and be able to get them up to that little higher level. Same thing on accommodations on board. You know, if they're asking for best price, right, and they want a price on an interior room, that's fine. Give it to them. But also look at what is the next level up, meaning if they're looking at interior, go ahead and check out that ocean view pricing as well, and then let them know what the difference is per day. Same thing, if they're looking at ocean view, check on the balcony. Let them know what the difference is per day, because I guarantee you when you break it down that way, it's pretty surprising. It's such a minimal difference to get them to truly enhance their experience while they're on board, right? If you're going from an interior to an ocean view, obviously having those views is spectacular. And then you step it up a little bit more on up to, you know, balconies and suites. You might be looking at only, you know, $20 a day more, but they have their own balcony that they can order room service, sit outside in their nice robe and enjoy the view, enjoy the scenery in their own private setting. It does make a difference. So paint the picture for them. And then also let them know the difference about going up on the ship. So, you know, for me, for example, when we sail with our kids, it makes a difference on the location of the ship. So, you know, I'm not really worried about spending $100 more, you know, or let's say, I want to say the last time I looked, it might have been $100 to $150 more from the bottom, moving all, you know, lower level all the way towards the top where I could be next to the spa, next to Camp Carnival, and next to the pool for my children, and the putt-putt golf, and the, you know, Lido dining experience, all those things. It made a big difference. It made our life so much easier keeping up with our kiddos while we're sailing to be close to it all. So it's a minimal difference, but again, it enhances the experience of the guest. So always make sure to provide that information, that knowledge, and recommendation. And then lastly, as a special tip, you know, I think we all know in being in this business, it's so important to offer insurance. Now, whether it's ours or a third party, it doesn't matter. I think it's just great to give them that opportunity to help protect their vacation investment. But if they decline it at the beginning, so when they originally make their booking, if they decline insurance, make sure that when it comes down to final payment, offer it again. And I say this as we have found that more than half the people that are offered a second time at final payment that said no to the beginning will say yes, because that's when those penalties really come into play. So now it's getting a little closer to vacation, and now they could see, ooh, you know, I don't want to risk losing my money. So it's definitely a good idea to, again, once, you know, if they said no the first time, offer it one more time. And also, you know, share the things that are pretty exciting. As we're talking about selling up, selling smart, tell them all the different features they can find on some of the new ships. Or maybe a ship had recently been updated and upgraded. You can tell them all the exciting information that helps kind of spur that sale, that helps them get motivated to maybe step it up on that particular ship. You know, things like, you know, especially branded experiences that we add, like the Blue Iguana Cantina and Tequila Bar. Maybe we have that on one ship and don't on another. What a great way to kind of try to move them onto something that they can experience something new. Or the Red Frog Rum Bar that had that Caribbean vibe and experience. Or the Alchemy Bar, voted best bar at sea. Lots of fun, where it's a true mixology, and you work with the bartenders to create the best concoction possible. Okay, the other thing, number 7, use our vacation guarantee. This is definitely something that you can use as a wonderful tool to help you get the business, especially with first-timers. So let your customers know about this. We are the only supplier in the industry that offers this 110% guarantee on their vacation. If for some reason your guests get on board and they're not happy, they can let us know within 24 hours of sailing, and we will make, they come and let our guest services department know, and we will make arrangements to get them back home or back to their home port. We will refund 110% of their cruise costs, including taxes, including prepaid gratuities, whatever it might have been, and we'll take care of their airfare and everything, and they are flown home at the first international port of call. You keep 100% of your commission, so it does not touch your money at all. This is a wonderful tool to use. We have it promoted in our brochures. We have flyers that promote it. We it really does help and build the confidence for their buying decision, especially if they've never cruised before and just don't know what to expect, or maybe they just haven't cruised on Carnival and don't know what to expect. But if you know it's the right fit for them, or, maybe they're just not quite sure, hey, use this as a great selling tool to get them on board. And let me just tell you, you don't have to have insurance to utilize this. The only thing you do have to have is they do have to be a resident of the United States or Canada, and they do have to have a passport, because if they do choose to utilize it, we would be flying them home from an international port of call. All right, number 8, use the tools of the trade. So we want to make sure you take advantage of all the free marketing tools, anything online and in press. They're right there at your fingertips, and again, this is going to help save you time and look more professional. So on GoCCL, under our marketing tab, you'll find our fun e-collateral library. So here's where you can find customizable flyers, web banners, and I love that, Maureen, you had mentioned NACTA having a YouTube channel. We do as well. So you can go on YouTube/Carnival and find a plethora of videos that you guys can use and upload and post them on Facebook. You can use them in emails. We definitely recommend you utilize these as a wonderful tool. And of course, we also have our collateral ordering tool right here, where you can get our brochures. And those, of course, have our itineraries all the way out through April of 2018. All right, number 9, recruit cruise rookies. So we want you to always keep an eye out for opportunities to spread the word on cruising. We want you to promote cruising. Obviously, there's still so many people who haven't cruised before. They just don't know what a great value cruising is. And you are, the way to get that out there. The other thing you can use is our home port strategy. It's a wonderful tool. And I say this because we've got 17 different home ports across the country. And obviously, in having so many home ports, it enables people to try a cruise, and it's a little, it's more affordable. It's a little more efficient travel, so they don't have to travel so far to get to one of our ships, because the way we have our ships positioned, we are a 5-hour drive range from 50% of the U.S. population, which is pretty amazing when you think about that. So again, it makes it very affordable. It makes it cost-effective to give it a try by just a drive to our ships or a short flight away, and for them to try and experience the cruise. And again, we try to have short cruising as well as longer cruising in all these different home ports. So they give it a try, then you start with a short one, then they step up to the longer one, and then they're more willing to travel a little further to try out new itineraries. So definitely use this as a tool. Also use recent recognition. Really this is just a testament to the things we're doing. Voted the most trusted brand by Reader's Digest. Travel Weekly, we were voted the best domestic cruise line in 2016. Cruise Critic gave us best ship. USA Today's Reader's Choice. Porthole Readers Award. So there's a lot of different things, and it's not to brag. It's just to say, to stand behind a product. When you are selling our product, it just gives you that much more ammunition to be able to rattle off some of these things. And we, of course, have lots of news and updates anytime we have those kinds of things on GoCCL. And then lastly, number 10, have fun. Right, we are in the business of creating memories and selling dreams, so you got to share that excitement and share the fun. By spreading your enthusiasm and experiencing the products you sell, it definitely leads to more sales. We know that for sure. So, you know, share updates, share news on the products, share recent things that have happened. So, you know, things like if they're families, talk about Seuss at Sea. You know, we've got this fabulous partnership with Dr. Seuss Enterprises. We do character breakfast. We do Seuss-a-Palooza parades. We have story time. It's so much fun, and it's got this very nostalgic feel in the dining room. And it's only $5 to do this on board, and it's pretty spectacular. We have this fabulous brunch on the last sea day on board all of our ships. And I did this with my kids as well as my parents, and we all had an amazing time. So as you can see, very whimsical fun. Of course, you can have that good old green eggs and ham. The other program you may want to talk about is Carnival Live. So this is our wonderful program whereby we get huge artists, big name artists like Carrie Underwood. Let's see, we just had Tim McGraw has now sold out, I believe. We have comedians like Jay Leno, Jeff Foxworthy, bands like Little Big Town. So big name performers that come on board. And this is a great way to get those who've never cruised before. Maybe they just love an artist and want to come see them. Get them on board the ship, and they can see them perform in such an intimate setting, and even do a VIP pass where they can go behind stage and meet and greet with these bands or performers, get to know them, and sit in the first 5 rows of our show lounge to see them perform. So it's pretty spectacular. So definitely another thing you can take advantage of, posting and sharing that kind of exciting information. The other excitement, wow, this is pretty big, going to Cuba. So we just recently announced just a week or 2 ago that we are sailing to Cuba on the Carnival Paradise, 4 and 5 day cruises. We overnight in Havana, and this is going to start in June of this year. So it's coming quick. It's selling really quickly because obviously so many people have been interested in getting to Cuba since we haven't been allowed to go there. So definitely another wonderful insider tip to share with your customers, your client base, friends, and family. Or maybe it's the newest ship. You know, so we recently announced the Vista's sister is the Carnival Horizon. So she's going to be joining our fleet in April of 2018, begin sailing in Europe, and then she will make her way to New York in May of 18 and do her summer out of New York on this brand new ship doing 8-day Eastern Caribbean cruises. And then in September, make her way down to Miami, where that will be her new home. So, again, for those that have cruised on Carnival many times, are always wanting to know, what is the new ship? Tell me about it. What itineraries is she offering? Great, great way to have something to talk about on that as well. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys. As always, we truly appreciate our partnership with NACTA, our friendship with NACTA, as well as all of you and your business. So with that, we surely thank you. And I will turn it back over to see if we have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A couple things that you touched on, I wanted to kind of remind everybody, for those of you who are on the call, and I'm assuming about 99.9% of you are indeed NACTA members, unless a few of you saw that it was going to be Alicia on somewhere on another posting and went, I have to sign up on the NACTA webinar to see her, which is always possible because you've got quite the following. You mentioned
Why, thank you.
You mentioned about testimonials, and one of the benefits of NACTA membership is your one sheet. And I'm always an advocator of members reaching out to their clients and going, hey, you know, you kind of do it a little humbly because at first we're a little awkward about it, but ask them for a testimonial and put it on your one sheet. And if you've not started your one sheet, please do get it. It's kind of a visual resume. It's free as part of your membership. It will allow you the opportunity to put on there that you're a Carnival specialist, who your host agent is, what your area of expertise is. And I always tell people, use the 2 lower boxes, because you have to have 10 boxes filled. Use the 2 lower to balance that out by having testimonials. And as Alicia was saying, reach out to your clients and get a testimony, get their permission. And I can tell you from personal experience that the 2 clients that I asked for it, they both came back with an amazing 2-sentence, you just wanted to be like 2 or 3 sentences, testimonial, but they also ended up booking with me again because they went back and they looked at the photos and they went, oh man, it's been 2 years since we've been on that cruise. You know, it brings back the memories and the excitement and how fabulous you are as their travel agent, how good care you took of them. So that's just, you know, kind of tag teaming with what you said about the testimonials. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
They had a good experience.
It's so true.
And, you know, if they booked on Carnival before and they were new passengers, then now you have the opportunity to be able to go, you know what? I can get you a past passenger bonus.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. No, you're exactly right. It not only does it establish getting those testimonials to help in your other sales efforts, but you're right. It brings back those memories, and they appreciate you even asking, just that you thought of them and wanted to share their experience. So it makes them feel special. So it's definitely something that you have to do.
Right. And it feels good to you. And, you know, speaking as a seller of travel for over a decade, make sure to pick the clients that you had a good experience with. I wouldn't recommend going to the ones that it just didn't turn out well. So, you know.
Be selective.
Be selective. Exactly. Couple of questions. Okay. One person asked, and it had to do with the map that you showed of the different ports. Do you ever come through the San Francisco Bay Area, maybe on repositionings or longer tours? I know, being here in the Bay Area, Princess has pretty much got the chokehold on the pier, but sometimes cruises do come through, and if they do come through, is there ever an opportunity to do a shipboard inspection?
Okay, so, I mean, great question. We get asked that a lot. Of course, Princess is our sister company, so if we, you know, we could ask our buddy to let us in now and again. But we have not in a long time, and we always keep that in mind. So it's not a never. I have not seen that on the drawing board for now, because we do get asked of that quite a bit, and we've had a lot of success on the West Coast. We've obviously been primarily out of the southern region through Long Beach, in which we have 3 ships. But I've got to say that we keep getting asked that more and more. Obviously, our itineraries tend to lend more to, you know, the Caribbean or to Mexico, and so that's why we've primarily been based there. But not to say never. I mean, I would assume, first of all, if we did do any type of I'm not saying renovation. You just mentioned it. Repositioning. Yes, repositioning. I knew it was the RE, repositioning. That yes, if we did stop there, absolutely, I'm sure we would offer some ship tours, because we'd love to have that opportunity. But again, we don't have that set yet, but never say never, because we're always looking at the possibility of expanding our home port.
Okay, and that would be great. And just as an FYI, I know you know this about me. I happen to be the Northwest Regional Director for NACTA. So if you do have a date, I could put it out to the Sacramento chapter, the San Francisco Bay Area chapter, and
wonderful.
You know, just as an FYI to plant the seed for you, and mixing my metaphors, sorry. But as there may be some interest, if we have enough time to be able to plan it. I know that the agents in my chapter, as well as Sacramento, would love to come and support you.
Wonderful. We'd love that. Absolutely.
Okay. what is the best source to find the names of the entertainers on the ships and the dates?
Yes, so we have, if you go on to GoCCL, and then under, actually, can I show you guys real quickly, if you don't mind?
Sure. Everybody close your eyes for a second so you don't get a head rush.
Here we go. Look how easy that was. Okay, see, I'm on GoCCL. Is it already up for you? Just making sure you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it, sorry.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so right up here under these tabs, you'll see Resource Center. Under Resource Center, you simply click under Carnival Live.
Got it. Hey, I like the little red, nice, look at that, the red arrow, like it.
Yeah, all right, and so then it talks about the overview, it talks about the act, and then you'll see here, so you've got our act. Sorry, just taking a moment, but I thought it would be just handy so you can see. So it'll show all the acts. All right. And then, let me go back one. Okay, and then we'll go here. For some reason it didn't arrow over. Oh, my bad. Tour dates.
Got it.
Okay,
got
and
it.
so under tour dates, it's going to tell you the ship, as you can see right here. So, for example, Tim McGraw, it's coming up. So he's on the February 26th sailing of the Carnival Breeze. So what you do is that's the cruise that they book on. So you book it just like normal. So you book the Carnival Breeze on February 26th. If they're on to go see Tim McGraw, what you'll see is under our shore excursion, you will see it listed as a shore excursion. So they can purchase a ticket in advance just by going to the shore excursions because they perform at night somewhere in the port. And then they'll be able to click on that and go ahead and purchase the ticket. So we offer just standard tickets as well as VIP passes.
Perfect. Is there a price range? Is it like a normal concert where there's kind of, the...
Much less. So pricing will start around $40 a ticket, on up to maybe $80, where if you were to try to go see them in your hometown, it'd probably be about 3 times that. So it's extremely reasonable. And then VIP passes, again, it'll range anywhere from $140 on up, just depending on the artist and how, popular and how quickly they sell out.
Perfect. Let's see, looking through the questions. Will the Cuba trips be flying from either Miami or Fort Lauderdale?
Tampa. So right now, all the Cuba itineraries that we have announced thus far are all on the Carnival Paradise, which sails from Tampa.
Good to know. Let's see. Okay. I've got some people putting them in the question box and some people putting them in the chat box. I have to look. This had to do with what you were talking at the very beginning. And the question is, what is a long option? And does it encourage shopping? I like it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So at the very beginning, I was talking about asking for the money and not to give long options. What I mean by that is a lot of, instead of going ahead and getting them booked and letting them know, okay, you've got, 24 hours to put down a deposit and following up with them and making sure to do that. A lot of people have the tendency to give them the information and then let them sit with it for a while, right? So they sit with it and then they contemplate, they go back and forth. The important thing to do is really qualify them from the beginning, really start to hone in on exactly what they're looking for, on exactly what fits their needs, and then knowing what promotions that are the best for them. So handle all that right up at the get-go, so that way you can lock that in and say, hey, I've got this held for you, this is what it is, here's the date the deposit's due, get it in, and then make sure to follow up. Because what we found is that if people were holding, talking with one agent, talking to another. And so we did a little study, we did a little research and finding out, okay, we saw, we were able to see, okay, they're booked through this person, they had all these different, options held out there. And then eventually, obviously, they made a booking. They went with one. The question was, why this one versus the other? And most of the time, it was the agent who made them feel confident enough and said, you need to go ahead and put your money down. We can get this help to go ahead and select your cabin, get this price secured, all those things. They asked for the money is what it came down to. That was the number one reason why they chose one over the other. So I think it's vital to, yes, you don't want to pressure someone by all means, but if you're doing your job correctly and you're asking the right questions and you hone in onto what they're looking for, and you are educated enough to give them that and share that knowledge and make the right recommendation, they've got to feel confident about it. But if you do that, then you need to be asking for the money. Get the credit card, get the information, because otherwise all they're going to do is keep sitting on it and get on Carnival.com. They're going to get on DirtCheapCruises.com. They're going to just look here, look there, get on Cruise Critic. They're going to listen to some stranger they don't know on Cruise Critic versus you or their best friend because they have time. It's just how people are. So I think it's vital to be very, by educating yourself and being knowledgeable and being a confident salesperson, it makes a difference that you can ask for the money and get it sold.
And it along the lines of what you're talking about, it's, and I think you would agree with it, it's all about the relationship. You are their trusted resource. You are there to talk with them. I know that as a travel agent, I've talked to my clients at 10 o'clock at night because they just get home from work. I've been able to change things around for my clients seamlessly for them, and we'll joke about, well, the gnome would never have done that for me. And it's all about the relationship. It's not about the money.
Right.
It really has over the years. You know how people always say, oh, I didn't know they had travel agents anymore. Doesn't the internet hurt your business? I go, actually, it's helped my business because people have been burned so much by, like you said, cheapcruises.com or, some company that they're kind of fly by night. And really, it's about building relationships. Carnival has some amazing itineraries for clients, and there's going to be something for everybody. I love the fact that you and I talked at the beginning, and it should have been a question I asked while the other agents are on there. But Carnival has Mexican Riviera cruises during the summer. 90%, would you say, of other cruise line all do the giddy up and they're all up in Alaska, but not everybody wants to go to Alaska.
Right, absolutely.
So what other options do people have with Carnival during the summer? There's they're like 3 to 5 night cruises or 3-4 night cruises.
Right. So we are year round in Mexico, Bahamas, and the Caribbean. 3 to 8 day cruises year round. And then we are seasonal, so we will be not this summer, so we will not be in Europe this summer. We let our sister companies do that. But we're in Alaska, of course, through the summer months. We are also, year-round in Australia and New Zealand. We are seasonal to Panama Canal, also New England, Nova Scotia, it's in the Canada area. And then we are also do seasonal trips to Hawaii. So that won't be primarily in the summer. Usually those are going to be winter and fall. But we offer seasonal sailings there as well. And to Bermuda. So we have a lot of different offerings that, of course we're known for Caribbean because that is something that we have such a strong hold on with all of our 25 ships and being there year round. But we do have other offerings depending on what people are looking for.
Excellent. Well, thank you. That's always nice because not everybody wants to go to Alaska. Silly them.
Right.
But it's up to us to be a resource for our clients to go, you don't want to do Alaska? How about Mexican Riviera? Really? I didn't know they had them during the summer. Awesome. And there you go. You look smart, and it's all because of Alicia.
No, certainly not.
So I know that at the very beginning, to get people's attention, we had mentioned that there's going to be a drawing at the end of our webinar, which we're coming to that right now. But I wanted to have you talk a little bit about what the drawing is and what people might win and how they would win.
Yes. So, we have been campaigning for our travel agents, and we have made a big splash on Facebook and all over the place at events that we're at. We have signage, we have shirts, we have everything that says Travel Agents Rock. So one of the things we have found is that we have had a lot of agents ask us for one of these shirts, and they seem to be very popular. So we decided we were going to do a drawing for one of those Travel Agents Rock shirts today. Very coveted, trust me. I've been begged and you name it, offered money when I've been in places to have the shirt, along with one of our fabulous tote bags. So
nice.
Shoot the date. Yes. And so, do you want me to tell them what they have to do in order to win?
I do, and we need to be specific so that way Lorene doesn't get her brain blown all over the place. Right, because we need to have what you're going to be asking for put in the question box, not the chat box. If you put in the chat box, I won't see your answer. So everybody get ready, and Alicia, what do they need to do?
Okay. All right. So here's what you need to do. The first person to answer this correctly wins. And what you need to know is you need to list one. I shared 10 best practices with you. So I shared 10 best practices. You need to name at least one of the best practices that I shared today. And the first person who gets that right and sends it in the question box to Lorene will win the prize.
All right. Hey, Sheila, you, Miss Too Sweet, are the winner. You got there first. Everybody else, ooh, look at that. You guys all gave great answers, but the first woman to be on there, sorry, guys who are on the call, sorry about that. First person to be on the call is Too Sweet, and she is the chapter director down in the Las Vegas area. So,
fantastic. Well, so Lorene, just have her tell her to put in her address and just send that over to me, and I will get that sent over right away.
All right. And Too Sweet, I will email you offline since I know how to reach you, and I will get that information from you, and then I will pass it over to Alicia. So, as always, thank you, ma'am. I bow to your kindness and generosity and knowledge of your product. Prior to, for those of you who know me, I can yak, and the best part about being the webinar moderator is connecting with the folks at the very beginning before we have to play grown up and hit the record button. So I really enjoy working with you, Alicia, and yeah, that 8 to 10 year thing is scary, but you know what? It just shows stability in the industry.
That's right. Hey,
exactly.
I'm going way longer than that, so you're a newbie. It's my pleasure. I really appreciate being here with you guys today. Thank you so much for doing such a great job.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, have a good rest of your day. Here in Northern California, it's actually sunny. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, oh my God, we had the worst hail yesterday. I was like, what is that banging sound in the backyard? Whoa!
No.
You know, yeah, it's like, that doesn't happen here. We have earthquakes sometimes, but not hail. I don't know. Next are coming the grasshoppers or whoever the next thing is. So. All right, thank you so much, and have a great day, everybody. I will post the link to this, and Alicia, I will send you the link to the webinar also so that you can have a recorded version of it for your records. And I hope everybody has a good rest of your day, and happy sailing. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.